Well, we've had blowouts, we've had close calls, and we've had inspirational words here at Quake Pro League. I'm 40 Lines, joined by Lethal and the legendary DJ Wheat. We got one featured match left, boys.
Yeah, this should be an absolute cracker to say the least. DaHanG versus dramiS. With DaHanG still playing very well up to the standard and caliber which we expect, but dramiS has been playing phenomenally well. Like, just in terms of how he's been approaching a lot of his opponents for the last few weeks of the last stage and stage 1 finals, he played extremely well. Even funny enough, taking likes of Cooler and some other players out in the stage 1 finals, and we'll have to see if he can continue that trend of defeating such high caliber opponents. But DaHanG, I don't think it's a tall order this time round. If it was like at least over a month ago, then yeah, I would say it's a tall order. But dramiS has improved dramatically since then.
I think that's kind of what a lot of people are very excited for this matchup. dramiS making his debut, similar to Cooler in our last featured matchup. That means there's been a few extra weeks to watch the other players, to maybe practice the maps, and we'll find out here in picks and bans in just a moment. But how much grinding has been done. We've definitely seen an improvement in dramiS as well. And this is a kind of a phenomenal opponent to showcase maybe what they've done or grown during this off season into the next stage. So I'm hoping that this one, like you said, is a banger.
Well, let's get into the picks and bans and see who can control that slash, or if she's banned outright. And it looks like DaHanG was like, no, I will not be allowing that.
Yeah, not really too much of a surprise there. We know DaHanG, some of his better maps have been on Deep Embrace and Awoken, but we will see Awoken as the last pick. But it seems like DaHanG now wants to go for Veil, so that's going to be an interesting pick. dramiS has gone for the kill on Veil, but then again, there's a lot of close quarter situations which can use those pineapples on, so it's been a while since we've seen a kill on Veil, so it's a nice surprise there. dramiS has banned Exile, so he probably doesn't have the experience he needs yet to maybe adjust, or maybe it's just not his cup of tea. It's normally one of the two, and DaHanG, he knows that dramiS is very good on Molten, so he just thought, you know what, I'm just going to get rid of that straight off the bat as we go into Ruins on the second map, Stroke versus Ranger, and then last but certainly not least, the Visor versus the Nyx on Awoken should be a good one. We've seen a lot of Visors actually on Awoken in recent weeks.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just going to say, no Eisen on Veil? Weird, right? I don't know. I feel like Eisen's pretty strong on that map, so yeah, interesting. Pretty interesting, at least from my point of view. But go on, Wade, sorry.
No, I was actually going to comment on Veil too, because it's just interesting to see two heavies duking it out there. And I agree with what you said, Lethal, about Veil and Keel. Like, that's kind of interesting to me. Both players, with Spit and with Pineapples, have this extra zoning control. But we're gonna have to see exactly how it plays out.
So yeah, predictions, boys?
Oh, predictions. I'm not sure. I still would say dramiS can take at least a map from what we've seen in the past, from the way he's been playing. I think he's definitely good enough now to put a stand against DaHanG, but I still think it's too much of a tall order. I still think DaHanG should edge this 1-2-1. Could be a close series, could be not, depends on the circumstances of the first map, but we'll see. So I think dramiS has improved. I don't think he's improved enough to beat DaHanG, but again, we'll see. But I think 2-1 in favor of DaHanG.
I'll match that. I think there's a potential of a map being taken away, but I'm definitely leaning more towards DaHanG, whether it's a 2-1 or a 3-0. Would love to see this flip flop. dramiS come out of the gates and say, "Boom, I'm here to play. Let's do this stage 2." But we'll have to see. I'm not sure. I'm gonna go with DaHanG though.
Oh yeah, chat is popping off right now. It is heavily in favor of DaHanG, but I like to always bet the under, so I'll go dramiS and I'll say 2-1 dramiS. We'll see what happens though. Any given Sunday. Oh yeah, just need all those sick channel points, Lethal. But I'm gonna put this one in your more than capable hands, Lethal. Wheat, please take us to the promised land on this last featured match of the day.
Will do.
Thank you very much, 40. Thank you very much indeed. Enjoy the last series as you put your feet up and rest. And now is the last series of the day with DaHanG versus dramiS. I mentioned it earlier, but over the last month, dramiS has improved dramatically, not even in small doses like we've seen in players like Nosfer, but a big impact. The last time we've seen him play like this was Season 1, Stage 2 or 3, where he made a huge impact in terms of his gameplay, his knowledge, and how he likes to execute certain attacks. And then he jumped off a little bit, but it seems like in recent weeks he's kind of at his peak potential again, and we'll have to see what DaHanG can do. He needs to be a bit more cautious compared to how he's played against dramiS in the past.
Has he been just practicing more, new practice partners, just putting time in? Is there anything that's the secret to his success here that we know of?
For dramiS, I'm not really too sure. We've not really seen like too much in terms of like what he's done. Maybe he just pulled his finger out and gone, oh, do you know what? Actually, I've had enough now being like near the bottom of the leaderboard. I'm going to completely turn things around and just sort myself out a little bit. But there was a few times in the past, the last season, where he was chasing for kills too much. He was playing a little bit impatient.
Yeah.
Maybe he's kind of rectified that again. DaHanG has always been, roughly the same level. He hasn't made any improvements in himself, but he hasn't really gone backwards either. He's kind of stayed the same as the kind of player where he adapts very easily. He can miss shots depending on the situation, but we'll have to see as we go into our first map week, which will be on Vale, to see which one of these two will take the first map in the series and go on to see what happens in the next couple of maps. So DaHanG, we're going to start with his POV to see what he's up to with his shenanigans.
Yep, and he's going to get some initial damage done right off of the bat with Spit coming out as well. And, as expected here on Vale, not a super action-packed map. Definitely more like a giant chessboard in which everyone is moving around some giant pieces to set up, control various items, and then, attack and hit those really interesting spots. What am I going to be looking for? How is Keel going to be using those pineapples, right? How is dramiS going to be using those? We've already seen it there, kind of zoning it out a little bit. And oh my gosh, that pineapple in the back doing a ton of damage, popping DaHanG up into the air, down to 10 points of health, and he is running away for his life. So if that's a little preview of what we might see out of Keel and those pineapples, I like it.
I'm not going to lie, I don't know how on earth he managed to get away with that, but that pineapple was just immense as DaHanG stacked to the eyeballs in terms of armor, but he's only on 22 HP. He needs to be careful here. He needs to back away, just restack just a little bit in the HP department. As both items have been taken, the heavy will be up first, so we'll see who's going to contest. Great rails there from DaHanG. He's now going to try and recuperate just a little bit. But this is his window of opportunity to get that first frag. He's seen him, got that first rail. That was beautiful. But I suppose he doesn't know exactly how weak it could be. But this is his moment. Get the first frag. Yes, he does. DaHanG is going to scally away, get the heavy. Won't have time to get the mega after that. Slight builds up, dropping down. But it doesn't matter. He knows he's picked it up. Won't do too much damage here. Gets the spin up. But look how much damage he's taken himself. As dramiS managed to get away, but it's only on 58 HP. As dramiS got a shoe stack even after that first rail from DaHanG.
I feel like we saw DaHanG's playstyle change within a second's notice. He got hit with a bunch of pineapples there in that initial exchange and realized, I can't really fight Keel in this way. And then he immediately switches to more of a mid-long range style where he then hits 4 railgun shots, just immaculate shots. And that's the way I think that he needs to approach this one. Like, Keel can be very dangerous, and obviously Spit can be dangerous too, but there's kind of a limitation, right, to the ability. You get hit with 5 pineapples and that might be the death of you. So he knows he can't really chase dramiS the way that he might want to. Playing that medium long range game is definitely going to play out more in his favor. Hitting rails will like that attempted one right there, but does already have a 66% rail accuracy, and I would expect to see more of that throughout this matchup.
I love that from DaHanG. He knew he was behind the telly, just wanted to choose the opportunity to go through and get straight to that mega, which he has done. DaHanG though wants to keep that top mid control. He knows the possibility of going into the telly, which he has done. Misses the rail, but has got some decent rockets there. Managed to get the heavy for his troubles. Gets hit by a pineapple and the rail, but both his players are so weak. DaHanG's slightly quicker to recuperate, but then again, dramiS is the one who picked up that mega. As dramiS is the one with the stack advantage, but not really too much has happened there. Some trades here and there in terms of rail shots and predictive rockets, but that's literally about it. Not really too much to say here. Just both his players playing it like a game of chess, where normally Vale is a lot more faster paced in comparison.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 heavies, I'm also not surprised. Also, like 2 zoning abilities is definitely not surprised by that. Another pineapple hit by dramiS on DaHanG. And now as he watches that teleporter, his opponent does come through. Gets a little bit of LG damage, but nothing any too damaging. There, though, that is huge. And a rail. However, the rockets in the back will use the shotgun for DaHanG to get that second frag of the game. 4 minutes and 19 seconds on the clock. He will rearm now. And I think DaHanG is just playing a better strategic game so far here on Vale.
Certainly has done indeed. Great LG there from DaHanG, but the Rockets retaliating.
Wow.
Only 2 HP for DaHanG from what we've seen. Just to pick him off with any weapon. Gets the rail, but then again, dramiS gets to trade with the Rocket straight afterwards. Good trade there. I suppose DaHanG wasn't really certain how weak he was. Just used the rail just in case. Perfectly understandable. But dramiS needs to get away here. The heavy's coming up any second now. Manages to get it, but he's still so weak and on the back foot. As dramiS is trying to recuperate whilst trying to keep DaHanG on his toes. He did a good job. Has the better stack now, but then again, DaHanG has just picked up the Mega as DaHanG is dropped down to go for that light in the rail room.
Yeah, like a funny little avoidance dance is kind of being done by both of these players, and some great map awareness, as you can clearly see it from both players in the way that they are approaching this one. Pineapples are coming out. dramiS drops down to that lower level, gets hit with the rocket himself. Now going to try to defend this heavy rail on top. Does hit that rail very clean as he manages to get away. Oh, but DaHanG hitting a rail of his own, and now dramiS in the danger zone, sending those pineapples out, making sure that his opponent cannot chase. Will pick up a little bit more health, but again, good escapes here by dramiS. Can DaHanG chase him down? Is trying everything, but is still being very cautious, knowing that those pineapples can equalize so easily.
Oh, that was so close, that rail shot from DaHanG, but he managed to catch him with that rocket. The LG is coming out. dramiS is so weak, but then again, so is DaHanG, but it's just not going to be enough as DaHanG increases his lead. He's trying to see if he pushes the rockets from the LG spawn, which didn't make the attempt, but DaHanG got the rail. Anyway, these rail shots are just unbelievable from DaHanG.
Wow.
Cleans him up. Great job from DaHanG. Gets the Mega just to make matters worse for dramiS. You can see exactly where he's going to go, just holding that rocket area just in case he spawns at rail and goes straight away. He's only on 20 HP. He needs to get away, but by this time, the rocket comes out, still cleans him up here. We left on 20 HP.
Yeah, and again, coming back to, well, looking, knowing he's very, very low, dramiS comes right back. But I was going to comment that I thought that was really smart by DaHanG going down to the rocket room. Sort of using, using the map and zoning accordingly. That was the right place to take that next fight. DaHanG now has a 5 frag lead. We've got less than 3 minutes left to go here. And again, I don't think this is a movement was better by one player, aim was better by one player. I think it has a lot more just to do with strategy and thoughtfulness in terms of how to take some of these fights, and DaHanG has definitely won that battle here on Vale. Narrowly misses that rail right there as the opponent escapes through the teleporter, but now with the 6 frag lead, can change things up a little bit, could get a little bit more aggressive if he wanted to. Hits a couple of super dope rockets with a rail follow-up right there. Both players incredibly low once again, but dramiS is going to have a very hard time here on Vale trying to bring back what is now a 6 frag lead for DaHanG.
This is what I was worried about for dramiS. With DaHanG, he has his on and off days in terms of his aim skill, but when he turns into an aim star in some of his matches, the fact that he can adapt so well to these players, it just makes matters worse. As DaHanG has adapted to dramiS with what routes he takes, and his aim is absolutely on point as DaHanG has the height advantage, looking to see if dramiS has dropped down, which he has done. Looks like he's going to chase him to see what he can do. Good rail is not going to clean up yet. He's trying to see if he's flanked around to the rail area. Oh, another great rail. This is the best I've seen DaHanG in a while in terms of his angles and what he's holding. It's brilliant.
His map awareness is just off the chain, and look, we've seen players win just based off of their knowledge of the map and how they can play. I mean, over the many, many years of Quake, we've seen many awesome players bested by another player's just sheer audacity when it comes to map knowledge and approach that they might take, or maybe a way that it fits in with their style. And I think we're seeing this right here. I mean, it's obvious that DaHanG has put in a considerable amount of time on this map to be able to find some of these angles, to be able to anticipate some of these routes that we're seeing here as well. And in the final minute, DaHanG is going to close the chapter here of our series book, as he is going to land one more frag, at least 9-2 with a set of double rails to get that one.
Oh, it's just been ridiculous from start to finish, as he's done just over 1,100 more damage, 56% with the rail, 40% with DLG. I could go on and on and on, but DaHanG still has a massive stack advantage. 25 seconds left, no chance for dramiS. dramiS is going to have to heal his wounds and then think about this next map, as it's not the first map he expected. I don't think he expected DaHanG to go absolutely off the rails. And speaking of rails, he's still hitting them just like it's nothing, pretty much like it's his day job here, as he's going to try and chase down for that 10th frag. Looks like he won't be able to, but the shotgun does come out. Will he about to clean them up? It was so close, but it doesn't matter. The damage has already been done, as DaHanG already wins the first map in this series 9-2. Not too bad, not too shabby.
Yeah, 57% rail, and you mentioned the damage. It was definitely in favor of DaHanG on that map, and kind of to be expected. Again, what I take away from that one is that DaHanG has put his time into Veil, obviously quite a bit, but things are going to change up a little bit here as we move on to Ruins and then Awoken for the third map. But a great start here for DaHanG. Very solid play. Really no cracks in that armor at all. And did you notice that the pineapples became less and less of a factor throughout the matchup, because I think DaHanG adapted so very quickly there. Choosing to no longer take those close quarter fights, taking again a lot of the mid to long range fights, and with the rail accuracy he was shooting, that was definitely the right play to go with. So congratulations with DaHanG, as dramiS comes out for his debut, loses that first map, but still has 2 more to try to bring it back. We're going to be moving on to Ruins next.
No, that's the money shot. Literally what you just pointed out is the fact that with DaHanG, he kept away from the close range, the corridors, the choke points, made sure he was always in an open area. So if he does shoot the pineapples, it's just for defensive purposes, in order to waste him or just keep DaHanG at bay. It did keep him at bay sometimes, but you're right though, he didn't really use it to its full ability, but it doesn't matter anyway. That's the first map all said and done. DaHanG already up 9-2, and this is a scary DaHanG as well. Even sometimes when his aim isn't on form, the fact that his movement and how he adapts to any style, to like any player in the Americas region, is just scary. And dramiS knows that as well. He probably knows that if his aim's on point, it turns into a little aim star around the map, then he's going to be in some serious trouble. He is in trouble now already 1-0 in the series. But we did predict that DaHanG can probably take this at least 2-1. But dramiS still has a couple maps left to go yet. So still got a bit of time left, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, historically, right, when DaHanG is in the lead, when he captures that lead early on, he's a smart player, very intelligent, never gets too aggressive, never really gets too defensive, always plays just right there where he feels like he's most comfortable. And that was, very apparent here. So what could dramiS do, right, getting that initial frag and making DaHanG kind of fight back for there and then setting the pace of the game? Certainly could happen here on Ruins, a map that both players are acclimated to. They know inside and out. But might help dramiS there a little bit. Obviously was not the case. The moment that DaHanG took control on Veil, he never let go.
He certainly didn't, as we are going to go into the second map, which will be on Ruins, to see if a reverse sweep can occur for dramiS, or if it's going to be all said and done and it will be another map for DaHanG. We'll have to see, as we are going to start for the period of DaHanG. He's been playing absolutely out of his mind during map number 1, and see if we can do the same on map number 2. But now that we're on a larger map cycle, we'll see if dramiS can play a little bit more, not just passively and patiently, but more to his roots and how he wants to play this. As already the Pika comes through for DaHanG, he's got the info, he knows that he's in corner for light, but DaHanG's just going to play it safe here, waits for this next heavy, but dramiS is already there, so yeah, it's definitely changed things up a bit.
Yeah, came there a little bit early, but setting up, knowing his opponent's going to be coming up to the Mega from down below, does hit a nice rail, and unfortunately that negates that heavy that dramiS had picked up, and it's also doing a great job slinging those lights. Now has dramiS in a really rough spot. Look at that, just tracks that orb all the way over to the side, hits the rail coming out of it, but dramiS hits some shots of his own, and now we're going to be equalized once again. Going to come down to these major items. Heavy is up, and well, Mega is about to spawn, so heavy though being delayed here, and I like this.
Yeah, one of these players can get both of these items now, depending on who gets that first frag. DaHanG just playing it safe to see, find out where the whereabouts on it of dramiS, but he's got a feeling that he is at the Mega. Will he be able to get him though? Great first rocket there, but it all comes out for dramiS, and what a beautiful rail there from DaHanG to get that first frag on the board, gets the Mega, and now's his opportunity to try and contest this heavy if he wants to. Even though the Pika's been taken down, it's just one rail away, not anymore though, as dramiS has picked up the heavy, and DaHanG is on his way, and as I say that, a nice 34 from that rocket. Nice defensive one there. Will he be able to clean up and make it a second? He's doing everything he can, left on 15 HP, but dramiS is also trying to run away for his life.
Yeah, both players realizing that a sneeze could take them out. And I don't think dramiS wanted to give up another frag, and obviously DaHanG didn't want this game tied up, but there it is, smartly played as DaHanG just rains down the rockets from the top level onto the rail, and that does net him his next frag. So unfortunate there for dramiS, some great shots there to really equalize things, but these angles that we're seeing DaHanG set up, and once again his rail is just bonkers right now, Harry. It's 63% with 11 shots. His movement's looking good. I mean, this is DaHanG in the zone for sure.
It's just so scary, the fact that DaHanG, if he's having a bad day, he still plays well. This is the troubling position for a lot of these players in the Americas region. But now his aim's on form, and he's trying to tackle anything he can that dramiS brings to him. He just can't do anything at all, just trapping him there with the LG. 4-0 in favour of DaHanG. And now he's going to try and spawn trapping around that tri-bolt area, but decides to back away from those tri-bolt shots. But dramiS knew that he was sitting there above Mega, just waiting for him to peek out again. But dramiS has got a decent stack now. He can work with this. Just needs to get a few more weapons in his arsenal to make a good go of it. But DaHanG isn't stupid. He knows that he's going to be keeping an eye out for any flanks. There's the first rail. Will he be trying to go for the second? Not yet. It seems like dramiS is going to flank around to the LG jump pad. And DaHanG hears him though. Realises that he's not going to peek out yet, but decides to at least prioritise the Mega and now drop down for the heavy, as he does have the stack advantage going into this.
Yeah, I was waiting for this to actually happen. He's still stolen away by dramiS, but a very patient DaHanG and through that entire last couple of minutes, where he did give up that heavy a few times, really to prioritize control and where his opponent was actually holding on to. Look at that nail gun damage coming out strong, making it 6-0 now. And DaHanG is so comfortable where he is at, Lethal, that he is basically able to just give up what he wants to give up and control what he wants to control, and there's still not much that dramiS can do about it.
Yeah, poor dramiS, it's not the start he wanted. It kind of feels like it's a repeat from the second map. Good rockets from DaHanG, good cleanup with the LG. dramiS just has no answers to what DaHanG is doing here. He's very aggressive. His aim is following up with what he wants to do in terms of his movement, and he's using some great positions, always has that height advantage, great angles. He's doing everything which is required in order to take down dramiS. And dramiS, even though he is a slightly passive player, he has some good counter aggression as well, but we haven't really seen much of it as of yet, as DaHanG has caught him numerous times with his trousers down. But the tri-bolt shots at Desire is looking amazing at the moment. He has a good peak damage. He's trying to hit him up, follow up that rail. Sadly, he misses, so it won't be the 8th frag yet. But DaHanG's going to pick up the Mega, and it looks like this could be the 8th one. He has picked it up, though. Can make something happen. It's done a huge amount of damage, and DaHanG here could maybe get a trade if he can find him at the right time.
Yeah, looking for him, knows that he is low, tries to hit the rail, unfortunately misses 2, coming back through, grabs himself an LG, and now needs to armor up as he does just that. 7-1 though, 6 frags separating these two. dramiS did manage to get on the board and hits another nice rail there. The question is can he keep the pressure on? Oh my gosh, the double rocket into the Dire Orb rocket death. And DaHanG makes it a 7 frag lead again with the score being 8-1. We're halfway through this game, and DaHanG is just, you know, he is making this his home. Ruins is his house. He wants to let his guests know that. And unfortunate for dramiS as he is locked into the corner with that LG as he barrels around the corner. And now it is 9-1 in favor of DaHanG.
He's been locked into the corner so many times, at least 3 or 4 occasions now with the LG or the rockets. Feel sorry for him in some way, but he's put himself in that position and he couldn't really capitalize on any advantages. But there hasn't really been any. He hasn't really been able to get any chip damage on DaHanG, because DaHanG's been out-railing him every single time. He's coming out now, just again the rail and the nail gun damage. dramiS needs to try and back away if he can. Gets a good first rail, needs to hit these next shots. So DaHanG's only on 41 HP, isn't going to go for the Mega. He's decided to leave it, but DaHanG's decided to, you know, overextend, re-peek out, and he knows that he needed to try not only get the Mega, but get that next frag. So he's only got 3 minutes left here, week. It's not looking too good, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think he's just trying to kind of protect a little bit of pride here on Ruins. You know, see if he can't pick up a few more frags. So we got Peeker coming out. Peeker's kind of been a side piece this entire matchup. Hasn't really been crucial to DaHanG's lead here, but pulling out Peeker when he needs to. And it seems to be working out fine for him in that regard. 7 frags in the lead, 2 minutes and 30 seconds left to go. Rocket coming from down below, and now both major items up. They will be traded. DaHanG picks up the Mega, dramiS the Heavy, and that rail misses. And this is what dramiS needs to do. If he's hitting those rails to be able to follow up on them. Unfortunately, his Dire Orb's not been super helpful. That one, though, does put him in a great position to land the rail. 9-3 now. Do you think DaHanG has a comfortable enough lead that he can sort of dictate the remaining 2 minutes of this game?
100%. He's got the mobility of the strong to get away when he needs to, and at some point, sometime, if he gets a little bit desperate, he can just hide around that heavy jump pad and just do ring around the rosy with dramiS, because he can do that. Anything dramiS can do is just maybe catch him off guard and then orb in if he does try and get away, but that's literally about it. His job now is to waste as much time as possible, but do you know what? DaHanG's taking him out anyway, so it doesn't really matter too much, as DaHanG's combat skills are next to none. Sometimes he has his good days, he has his bad days. I think DaHanG, I'm not sure if he still does, but he plays a lot of 2s in order to improve his combat skills from time to time. Not sure if he still does that, but you know, wouldn't be surprised if he have done, considering how well he's been playing. He's barely been missing any rails. He's actually been hitting 37%, which is not as strong as the last time round. And dramiS has actually had 55%, which is pretty mad, but you know, what can you do here? DaHanG's still pretty weak. He's only got a minute left. And as you can see now, dramiS, there's not really anything he can do here. 5 frags behind, good rail from dramiS, but it's just too little too late.
Yeah, the rails just did come out a little late. I mean, as we're seeing these final moments, suddenly dramiS just hitting all the rails that he needs to hit. He's been able to boost that up to a 57% accurate rail, but does unfortunately go down again, making the score 11-5. You know, nice to see though, right? He pulled it out. He was not sitting in a very good score position here early on in this matchup, but he kept to it. He had a plan. There's another great rail coming out by dramiS to make it 11-6. But as you mentioned, too little, too late. It's unfortunate those rails couldn't have come out a little bit earlier in this matchup. Not sure it would have made a difference in terms of taking away map victory, but it certainly probably would have made this match a little bit closer. And there it is. The buzzer hits 11-6 in favor of DaHanG as he takes map number 2.
Yeah, that was just ridiculous. At least dramiS managed to keep the score a bit more respectable compared to what it could have been. And again, DaHanG 720 more damage compared to his opponent. And you saw the 58% rail from dramiS. So he was hitting all his shots. He just couldn't really make anything of it afterwards. He was in a, definitely riding the struggle bus there with 21 items for DaHanG, 16 for dramiS. But the damage output says it all, really. When you've got that much damage done, the world is your oyster, really. You've got so much map presence there, map control. dramiS just felt like he was always at some kind of disadvantage every step of the way. It was a real shame. But we saw that the rail shots and his accuracy and what he wants to do was good. The chip damage was okay a lot of the time, but it just wasn't enough. So it's a shame, but we'll have to see what dramiS can do in map number 3.
Yeah, the Diorb really wasn't dramiS's friend in that particular matchup either. Managed to make it work, maybe 1 out of 10 times that he had tried. And, just, again, didn't necessarily change anything. It's just like it didn't help him get back or really score any of those frags. Those were hard-earned frags just by the great aim and reads of dramiS. But DaHanG comes out on top, and now we move on to our third map. And even though DaHanG has won the series, there's still a map up for grabs. Is this the one that dramiS might be able to take? Well, Awoken is where it is going to be played out. Visor is going to be, or DaHanG is going to be playing Visor, and dramiS is going to be playing the Knicks. What do you think about this one, just based off of what we've seen so far? Is DaHanG so warm up and looking good that this is going to be a tough one for dramiS?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I wouldn't be surprised if it's gonna be a 3-0 here, as I thought that was the map which dramiS will be able to take a win on. So I was assuming that maybe he had an early lead and then managed to play properly, then managed to be able to play to his advantages and to his style. Then he can do what he can to keep away from DaHanG and then go from there. But it doesn't seem to be the case. Even on one of his best maps, he still couldn't take him down. And the fact that it's going to be on Awoken, which DaHanG isn't really too bad on either, it's going to be very difficult. Yeah. And it's nice to see another Visor played on Awoken. We've seen a lot more Visors in comparison to what we've seen in the past. Like normally see a lot of Doomslayers or Nixes, etc. But it's nice to see the Visor come out a lot. I think people just kind of get a little bit worried about where their opponent could be in terms of like contesting some of the items. So they just like to, at least have a little safety net in terms of where they're going to go and hold the angles before they execute any game plans.
Well, we're not going to have to wait very long to hop into our third map here of our final featured series. Thanks for joining us here for QPL on Quake Sunday. We're here every week, so we hope that you'll set your schedule, your timers, and put us on those calendars, and we'll be here to bring you all the action from the matches of the week, including our 2 featured matches. This is our second one today. This is dramiS's debut here for Stage 2, but it's DaHanG who's looking to steal the show away. He previously had wins versus Effortless and Cygib, looking to add a third head to his trophy room here for Stage 2. He's already won the series, but let's see if he can sweep with a third map here on Awoken. We're about to go live, and again, thanks everyone for joining us. It's always great to see all of your smiling faces and all of your wonderful memes in chat. So here we go. Lethal, take it away.
Well, do you know what? After the series earlier, we're going to see plenty of memes. If not, I'm disappointed. Really am. But we'll find out later on the night, I'm sure. As now we're going to head into map number 3. We'll start with DaHanG's POV to see what he's up to and to see if he's going to try and close out this series in a clean sweep, or if dramiS can make something of this.
Yeah, both players' rails have looked impressive in the last couple maps, and stealing away that rail right there. Says no, you cannot, DaHanG, as Ghostwalk is popped to steal that rail, and now trying to take this advantage and capitalize on it. But DaHanG did have a rail. Okay, my bad. I thought that was the one he waited to pull it out. Now using that piercing sight then to set up the shots. Oh, beautiful rocket. Ooh. Makes it a rail combo as well. And then off of the frag, great read. Unfortunate for dramiS as DaHanG quickly goes up 2 in the first minute.
Oh, that's quite a predictable move, going for the rocket straight off the bat on this map, and sadly dramiS fell for it. It was hoping that maybe DaHanG may look into it a little bit too deeply and just kind of overthink things, but just was like, oh, do you know what? I'll try and stop him from going for rockets. If he's not there, then at least that way, that's one major weapon contested. These rails, DaHanG just playing out of his mind. This is definitely the best I've seen him play in not a long time, but in at least a month. So it's good to see him back on form.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement, Harry. I think this is very, very solid, right? I mean, we've always known DaHanG to be a consistent player, and so I think it's actually when you see him not playing consistent, that's where it's like, wow, this is this isn't unlike DaHanG. But I think what we're seeing now is, hey, maybe someone who's like, I'm tired of being, second fiddle here. I wanna really kind of show my dominance here in stage 2 of season 2 of QPL, and it's what he's trying here anyway. 2 minutes in, a 3-0 right now for DaHanG. He's looking to lock this one into a clean sweep with a third map, but dramiS, don't count him out quite yet. We're still very, very early in this matchup, and although he's been having trouble finding ground so far in the first 2 minutes, doesn't mean it can't happen. It's going to start off with a nice rail right there. DaHanG is going to back off just a bit, and he needs to respect that rail.
Yeah, the items are perfectly segregated. He's trying to bait out dramiS' position to see where he's going to go. Uses the piercing sight to find out where his Ghost Walk is. He's found him, but the thing is, though, the Mega's coming up, and he's just jumped over it from that rocket, but the rail straight afterwards. It doesn't matter. DaHanG is absolutely on fire here.
Yeah, and even off of that, the spawn, dramiS tries to get in a little squabble with DaHanG, and he quickly knocked him down with some LG, and he does have armor now, but he's taking fights that I'm not sure that he is really ready to commit to. Unfortunately, trying to jump up to the top level, and DaHanG is ready with that LG, and it's just he has his number. Mega spawns up perfectly timed, shotgun comes out, and there's frag number 6. DaHanG is not being a merciful god here today at all, as he has taken a very, very quick and swift lead here on Awoken.
Oh, that was bad timing. You saw there, dramiS used his Ghost Walk just as DaHanG's piercing sight was finishing off, which means he saw the route which dramiS is going to take and managed to pin him down in the rail area. So he probably has a feeling that he may have just saw a glimpse of him Ghost Walking when he transferred across. Yeah. But DaHanG now still got a big stack, a huge stack to say the least. DaHanG is just waiting for that next heavy to appear, but so far, Giants just had no answers, no ideas. He's not really too sure where to go about this. He's 6-0 down, still got 6 minutes left. Good first rail, trying to go for a cheeky second through that tiny little gap. But at the moment, DaHanG's looking good. Got piercing sights, got top mid control, tickling him just a little bit with that LG, and now it has the Mega. So I think that's just a matter of time until DaHanG once he gets this to the frag. The LG was good, but the rockets aren't. He's at a disadvantage in terms of the height, so he needs to try and get away. But some good nail gun shots through the telly.
Yeah, I mean, just doing damage almost any time he's seeing dramiS on the screen. There's another frag, 7-0, and just reading his opponent like a book. DaHanG has used that piercing sight every single time that his opponent's been in that back hallway. Steals away that Mega, but it won't matter. The shotgun to finish the job, 8-0, piercing sight yet again, and now just setting up to do damage, and he's made that work for him every single time, whether that's to avoid taking damage or just continuing to put that pressure on. But we've hit the halfway point of this game, and it looks to me that DaHanG wanted to seal this deal without a question in our minds.
He certainly has done indeed. dramiS has only had 4 items over the first half of this match. DaHanG 50% accuracy with the rail. He's going to try and back away. dramiS may get this first frag. He does, finally. Taking a little bit of time, but still got 7 more to go, though. And against a player like DaHanG, it's going to be very, very difficult indeed, as he's getting more of the item control now. It's going to try and bully for the item a little bit more, but these rails from DaHanG are just ridiculous here,
Yeah, I mean, he just can't do what DaHanG has been doing to him, which is like, showing himself but dishing out the damage. Is, smart shots and good movement here, but DaHanG just seems to be one step ahead of his opponent at every single turn. He does manage to take control back here. However, dramiS off the spawn, going to go down yet again, and DaHanG feeling pretty comfortable here as we pass the 6-minute mark, and he has a 9 frag lead. Tribolt coming out, but all of those danced away. This dramiS does some ballet around there. Piercing sight coming out perfectly, does allow him to set up for a great rail, and another one just as Ghostwalk finishes, and still shooting a 55% rail. Just real impressive play here from DaHanG.
Yeah, we shouldn't be surprised. It was available just then, but managed to pick up the light and the health bubble to keep him away from that scenario. 10-1 in favour of DaHanG. dramiS has got a tall order here, and it's probably not going to happen, as now DaHanG has increased his lead again, 11-1. Not really too sure. I wouldn't say dramiS is, playing bad or anything like that. It's just DaHanG's just playing in a top form here. It's just quality level of Quake here, and like I mentioned earlier, it's probably one of the best times I've actually seen DaHanG play. Like, normally he adapts really well in every map, but the fact that his aim is following up as well, it just shows how much of a powerhouse DaHanG can be here. But nice rockets from dramiS.
Yeah, I mean, the last 2 frags, really smart. I think it was the first time that he used Ghostwalk the way that he wanted to. I think that he had an idea on how to use it against DaHanG in this matchup. That does manage to not only capture 1 frag, but a 2nd frag. Unfortunately, that will be short-lived as he is railed out of the air, and now both players incredibly low. Who is going to come off with this final hit as dramiS is giving chase despite the fact he is low himself, and the rail comes out and it goes to DaHanG. Now a 10 frag lead with 2 minutes left to go. And I completely agree with you. Like, dramiS isn't playing poorly. DaHanG is just playing phenomenal today.
Yeah, this is exactly it. It's not the way dramiS wanted, but I'm sure when he watches this game back to find out where he went wrong, he's going to understand that, of course, there's quite a few mistakes he made, but the way DaHanG's been playing all series long, he's not let off the gas at all. He's going to try and peek in and get the 15th frag, but that's pretty much the series done and dusted here. There's only 1:20 left on the clock, but what can he do? Not really too much, especially with that stack, and he can't even make this score respectable, which is a real shame. But we know how well dramiS can play. Some good rockets there, but it won't be enough, as DaHanG is just keeping himself away, keeping himself at bay, and it's just holding that top mid control to find out where dramiS is going to go. But it's just going to be an opportunity to try and get the 16th frag. No, it won't. dramiS will get the full from, but yeah, like we mentioned earlier, DaHanG's just playing out of his mind.
Yeah, I mean, looking at the damage and whatnot, has consistently stayed about 500 damage ahead of dramiS's entire matchup. Railgun 52%, shooting a 32% LG, and then we have Ghostwalk coming out. That will get him another frag, making it 5-15. But as you mentioned, the story's already been told, and we know how this one ends. DaHanG is going to ultimately steal away this series with a 3-0. And despite some of those improvements from dramiS, you can't forget that every player in the QPL seems to be improving on some level, and that includes DaHanG. He's always been very surgical and very methodical in his play, but I think what we're seeing here is someone who is definitely well practiced. DaHanG with the suicide in the final moments to make it 14-15. It is still a 3-map series win for DaHanG, but dramiS puts out everything he can. He leaves it all out on the table here in that final map.
335 more damage, a little bit more map presence, but it's more the item control. DaHanG had 24 of the items, and his rails was just ridiculous half the time. But it's nice to see DaHanG with, that aim star kind of quality which we've seen from him in the past. Only now and again, though. It's not, consistent, but we see it from time and time again. Even when he plays bad, his adaptation and his movement normally makes up for it anyway. But his combat skills throughout that entire course of the series was just next to none. He didn't let go of the gas once. There's times where players can do that, but no, he just wanted that full 3-0 to give dramiS a hard time.
Yeah.
He think the good thing about it is the fact that he didn't underestimate dramiS. He knew how well dramiS has been playing the last month, and knows that if he sets off the gas even just once, then dramiS is just going to come straight back and try and walk all over him. So it's good stuff from DaHanG, not to underestimate him. But yeah, no, it's good stuff from DaHanG. Want to see what dramiS can do, but I think we need to ask for 40's opinion.
Let's see what he says.
What he thought of that series. 40, what did you think of that?
So right off the bat, I was wrong. We'll just put that out there. I'm more impressed with how DaHanG was playing while virtually staring into the sun, it looked like. I wonder if that's part of the strategy, like weighted training, or like if that's just an advertisement for the Gunners, because that was just nuts. But yeah, it was the DaHanG show all the way through. I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, not much. And you're right. The sun peeking through there and blasting away at his retinas somehow, that gave him the power that he needed, right? Wearing those Gunners, I guess it doesn't matter. But well played by DaHanG, looking very sharp. And that's his third series win this stage.
Yeah, it's been
looking
great
really,
stuff.
really strong.
Yeah, it's been really good. It's just a shame that even in some of those situations, dramiS, when you use that ghost walk, either DaHanG still had the piercing sight, or the fact that one time where he used a piercing sight when he only had a second of ghost walk left, or the second of piercing sight left, as he used the ghost walk to go onto the rail. There's little things like that just made a huge impact, and it means that no matter how aware you are, if your opponent's going to know your exact location and you don't have a clue, then it's not going to pay off for you. But congrats to DaHanG, commiserations to dramiS, but that's the best I've seen DaHanG play in a while. Good stuff.
GG's. Do we have DaHanG?
GG's. Indeed, I think we do have DaHanG. He is here. We can speak with him. DaHanG, hi. Congrats. How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you guys?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, good.
Good to hear.
So I'll just get it out of the way. How do you play staring into the sun like that? Is that part of the plan? Are you solar powered?
Are you referring to the blinds, like the little windows? Yeah, I don't know.
Sure am.
I just tolerate it, and I don't realize it until after the fact,
Okay, you're so in the zone. I like that.
Yeah.
Nothing can distract you. Take that away. The up and coming players need to realize.
They can't pierce through the Gunners to the point where I realize it's happening, so we're good.
Exactly. You got to shout them out. That's all I had. That's the most important question in my mind.
I'll talk to you later.
I'll ask a slightly different question then compared to what I thought he was going to say. Your aim was just, next to none. It was really, really good. It was top form, top level, and it's nice to see the high quality of play from you. And what do you do to kind of improve your combat skills and keep that high level consistency? Because I do remember you playing a lot of 2v2s a lot of the time to kind of keep that up. But is there anything else you do in order to keep up that aim style quality which you have?
I mean, there's a lot that goes into it, and I'm obviously not always the best aimer, but trying to make sure that before I start a match that I'm feeling good just moving around the map by myself, even because half of the battle is not stumbling into walls or failing rocket jumps, just having general confidence in your movement. Another component is trying to just read your opponent and kind of set up shots rather than just raw aim bailing you out. So that's what I really focused on, particularly on Veil of Nath, because Sorlite can eat grenades like their breakfast, dinner, whatever, and so I didn't want to get up and close and personal. I kind of want to just take it at my pace, try to abuse rail to the extent that I can, and then with the superior speed, just kind of out control, and just kind of flowed in such a way that I guess aiming looked pretty good on my end.
Yeah, we made that point on the pineapples early on the first map.
Yeah, and actually that was kind of my question, because we've seen a lot of different ways that Veil is played, with two heavies coming out there. It seemed like you almost changed things up in that first minute, right? Because a couple of those initial battles did happen. You had that one grenade that popped you up in the air, and you almost met an untimely death in the corner. And then suddenly it seemed like everything was mid to long range fights from that moment forward. So you mentioned that was your game plan going in, but did you feel like you switched that up right away, or was that those first couple exchanges just the chaos of the opening couple minutes?
Yeah, I mean, it's two heavies and it's the chaos of the opening minutes. You can't just let him get both major items and then rely on yourself to just hit 2 or 3 rails in a row. So there's always a little give and take, and so that's what we saw at the beginning. And dramiS's rail is pretty nasty sometimes, and so I'm just glad that he didn't really get on a real run with the railgun in particular, because that would have been what could have brought him back on that first map.
Yeah. And really quickly, a follow-up, because this is your third series win here in week 3 of stage 2. DaHanG, right, what are your expectations? What are your goals for yourself here in stage 2, now going into week 4 with a nice series record?
Yeah, so I mean, this stage I should be able to put in more time and effort into Quake Pro League, and so like I'm hoping to just go as far as that'll take me. So a lot of good competitors in NA Quake now, like so much improvement as we've seen.
Yeah.
So the good thing is I'll have a good kind of way to measure how much progress I'm really making, because I still have to play like Rafa, Chain, Nosfa, Zenaku, like everyone else that I haven't played, right? So, and they're all really strong, like, to be honest. So if I can, I don't know, I just want to see improvement from myself week to week, and we'll see where it takes me.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, man. Well played.
Yeah,
thanks.
Congrats.
Appreciate
Congratulations, mate.
Thank you.
Well, boys, it's been a long day. It's been a long day. We've seen a lot of great things. How do you guys feel about it? Lethal?
Yeah, it was a pretty good day in, day out. A lot of the series score were whitewashes, but some of them were very, very close. The highlight for me is definitely that CNZ versus Cooler matchup. There's going to be a lot of memes coming out about it. I look forward to it. I know there's going to be at least 100, and I'm going to go through every single one of them without fail, and I'm definitely going to save some as well. So, yeah, apart from that, some great series there. Not really too many upsets to it, just some close calls here and there, but it's nice to see DaHanG back on form again. Nice to see Cooler looking very strong against, again, another strong CNZ, but some great matches throughout the course of the day. Loved it.
I have to just echo what you said about the CNZ and Cooler game. I mean, it went 2-1, came down to the last map and the sudden death overtime. And it's, it's exciting after losing, Toxic to, relegation in this previous finals. We don't want to see all of our Quake legends, unfortunately be eliminated from this. So good to see Cooler in the form that he was. And I just want to also say it's great to see all those smiling chat faces out there today. So thanks for tuning in every Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, I think Cooler said it the best. We're a tight-knit community. It means a lot for me, and I'm sure I could speak for everyone else. It's a dream come true, week in and week out, to get to talk about video games, watch the world's best, go at it. And it's something that we should be thankful for. So big shouts to the chat, everyone that tunes in, that tweets, retweets. Big shouts to Bethesda and PGL for putting it all on. And big shouts to the players for putting in their, time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears week in, week out to bring us the entertainment to compete to be the best. And we're very lucky, and I'm very thankful. And I'm sure you guys are too. It's an absolute blast to hang out with you every Sunday and get to cast alongside you. So if you guys have any closing words, I'll leave you to it, but that's it for the old Beakbeard.
No, that's it for me. I've already said everything, and I'm sure we're all going to echo it anyway, but now it's been a great day as always, and, look forward to see how these next 10 weeks shape up before the stage finals.
Yep. I'm not going to say anything other than thank you, gentlemen. It's always a pleasure as well. And again, thank you, chat, for and all the viewers that showed up watching Quake from around the world. We appreciate it, and we'll see you next Sunday for sure.
Yep. Same time next week. Everybody take care, be safe, and don't forget, Sundays are for Quake.